Hey guys, welcome to Frosty Pine Labs. If you are new to the world of firearms, you have come to the right place. Today we're starting from square one with the very basic question of what is a firearm? Before we get started, we need to make sure our firearm is unloaded and that there is nothing in it. So we pull our magazine out, nothing in there, feel our action, finger right in there, nothing's in there. We know that this firearm is not loaded, so that is step number one. A firearm is a tool designed to launch one or more projectiles at a high speed through controlled explosions. Now that sounds a little crazy, so let's break it down into simple terms. Now we're going to go over the basic parts of a firearm. So this is the action here. What this is it's the mechanism that loads, fires, and ejects ammunition. You can sort of think of it as the engine of your firearm. Then we have the barrel. This is a metal tube which the projectile travels through, and this is to guide your bullet towards the target, to aim it in the right direction. Next up we have the stock, and this is the stock and the grip. This is where you're going to hold onto the firearm, and it just gives you control and stability while using it. The firing pin strikes a primer on the ammunition. This ignites the gunpowder, creating a small explosion. The explosion generates gas that propels the bullet through the barrel and towards the target. Now the main types of firearms are going to be handguns. They're your small firearms designed to be operated with one hand, what you're mostly going to see around America. Rifles, long-barreled firearms, they're designed for precision at longer distances, your average long gun that you see for hunting and stuff like that. And then you have shotguns, and they're firearms that can shoot multiple small pellets called shot, or a single projectile called a slug. Alright guys, now safety is important. Understanding what a firearm is comes with understanding the responsibilities that it carries. So you're going to treat every single firearm as if it's loaded. You're always going to check it to make sure it's not loaded. You'll open it up, look inside the action, make sure there's no bullets, nothing in there. You can drop the magazine, and just make sure that it is not loaded at all. Take a look inside the chamber, have a feel, make sure there's nothing there. Rule number 2 is never point the muzzle at anything that you're not willing to destroy. That is something super, super important. Now keep your finger off of the trigger until you're ready to shoot is the third one. This one you can see we have a trigger lock on. Normally you'd have the trigger there, and you always keep your finger out of the trigger well until you're ready to shoot. And be sure of your target that you're shooting at and what's beyond it. If your round goes through your target, or you're hunting and it goes through a deer or something, you want to make sure that you know where your projectile is going to go after it hits your target if it does go through. So with those 4 things in mind, make sure that safety is paramount anytime you're around firearms, and never forget those rules. Alright guys, something to consider as well is in Canada we have a lot of legal considerations with firearms. In order to get a firearm, you have to be licensed. That requires getting your possession and acquisition license. It requires a written test, a physical test, or practical test, and then a waiting period. Now once you do that, you can also apply for your restricted, which allows you to get, not handguns now because handguns are banned here, but if your profession requires it, or you have a restricted rifle or shotgun, you can get that as well. There are 3 different classes. You have restricted, non-restricted, and prohibited are the 3 different classes in Canada. And it's always important to stay informed on what guns are in which category. The government, especially this government, likes to change them around very quickly. And so you have to really stay on top of knowing which gun is, or which firearm is legal, and is it prohibited or restricted or non-restricted. So always keep on top of that to be a responsible firearm owner as well. Alright guys, so that's our basic intro to firearms. What is a firearm? Now these are tools, and they require a certain amount of respect, knowledge, and safe handling at all times, no matter what the firearm is. So remember those rules, and you'll always have a good time with a firearm. In our next episode, we're going to go over the 4 fundamentals of firearm safety. We mentioned it previously, so we'll dig into that coming up. Thank you very much for tuning in to Frosty Pine Labs. I'm John, and have a great afternoon.